Welcome to Life Beyond BS, where we ditch the belief systems and the bullshit and get real about life. Here it's about awareness, choice, and creating joy that actually lasts. No perfection, just honest talk and powerful change. I'm your host, Heather McNally, and let's get into it. Hey, friend, welcome back to Life Beyond BS. I'm your host, Heather McNally, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today for episode 3. I'm so excited. If you listened to the last podcast episode, number 2, you know we talked about awareness, like really noticing where you are, what's going on in your life, the patterns that might be running the show, even without you realizing it. You don't know what you don't know. So, how can you change things if you're not aware? Like, you're not aware of the thing, how it affects you, how you're feeling, how your life is running. Here's the thing: awareness by itself is not enough. It's like turning on the light in a messy room. You see the mess, but that light alone doesn't clean it up. I wish. What actually changes your life is when you choose to do something once you're aware. So today we're diving into one of my favorite topics, choice. It's actually my word for 2025. If you happen to do that word of the year kind of thing, my word is actually choose. I decided to choose that word because it's the verb, it's the action. And I'm thinking of adopting it now as kind of what I'm calling my life word or a core word. And I'm going to share with you not just why choice is so powerful, but how to start using it right now in your own life. And just so you know, I've been in those places where I felt like I didn't have a choice. I'm going to tell you a story about one of those moments in my own life and how one decision changed everything. But first, let's talk about what choice really means. So most of us think as choice as like little things like, oh, am I going to have hot coffee or tea? Am I going to watch Netflix? Am I going to read a book? Chicken or pasta, dinner choices. But the choice goes so much deeper than that. It's your greatest power. Even when you can't control your circumstances, you can always control your response. So that's where your freedom actually lives. Now, here's the BS belief system I want to call out today. Something like, I don't have a choice, or this is just how my life is. I'm stuck because of my past. Have you been there? I certainly have. I've said those things before and I believed them. But here's the truth. Every time you say, I don't have a choice, you're making a choice. That choice to stay stuck. Choice isn't about being perfect. I don't believe in perfection. It's about being real, looking at where you are and deciding what's next. So let me tell you a little story about my own life. There was a time when I was in such deep pain, mentally, emotionally, physically. And let me tell you, mental pain can cause physical pain. Your brain is powerful. And I just felt powerless. I remember sitting on the floor of my bathroom one night crying, just thinking, this is it. This is my life. I have no way out. But here's the thing, I did. The way out wasn't some huge miracle, like I kind of thought something it would be this massive change. It wasn't someone swooping in to save me. It was a choice to get up off that floor and say, okay, so I can't fix everything right now. What's one thing that I can do today? And that's how it started for me. It wasn't some big, massive thing. There weren't fireworks that I wish there were, but it's not that. It's not some huge breakthrough. It's tiny, defiant, I'm not staying here choices. A simple choice, a decision for you. You may not be sitting on a bathroom floor like I was at that time, but I know that you've had those moments where you felt like you just didn't have any options. I want you to hear me. You always, always do. Here's where the brain science come in. This is where I geek out. When you practice awareness, Your brain literally creates a pause. And that pause is gold. It's giving you just enough space to choose a different response. Have we ever had those moments where someone said something and you just reacted? Take that tiny brief moment, breathe, and then respond. That's what I'm talking about. So, Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor and a psychiatrist. And he put it beautifully. He said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose. And in our choice lies our freedom. And I'll tell you, one of my core values is freedom. Think about that. Your entire life can change in that tiny little space between what happens to you and how you respond. And like a muscle, the more you practice that conscious choice, the stronger it gets. Neuroscience is beautiful. Here's the part most people miss. It's not always about the giant life-altering choices. Sure, sometimes it is, but often it's those little tiny choices that you make that build momentum. Choosing to speak kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. Been there. Choosing to rest instead of pushing and hustling burnout. Doesn't even have to be long, just a few minutes. Your body and your brain need it. Choosing to set one boundary instead of saying yes when you really deeply mean no. It's like flying a plane. If the pilot shifts the course by 1 degree, it doesn't seem like much at first, but over time, that small shift is going to take them to a completely different destination over the miles that they're going. So, if you listen to episode 2 about awareness, you're going to remember my story of I can't and becoming aware and acknowledging that I was saying that out loud without even thinking gave me that flashlight moment. It was a spotlight on something that showed that I was just running on autopilot, that it was trained in me. And then because I became aware of it, I was able to look at the situation and have a completely different perspective. One where I realized I could choose to say yes. In the moment, it was as simple as choosing to go to a concert. That's all it was at the moment. But oh my God, it was so much more than that because it made me realize that I had the choice to say yes to that concert, but I also had the choice to say yes to other things or no if I didn't want to. But I said yes to myself in that moment. And that started to make me realize that I could say yes to my life. Mind blowing. It doesn't seem it in the moment, but that little choice was mind blowing. That's what tiny choices do for your life. So here's a progression that I want you to remember. Okay. Awareness leads to choice, leads to action, leads to transformation. Every transformation that I've had in my own life started with this sequence. And again, it's that awareness. Once you're aware, you can make a choice. Once you make a choice, you can do the action that you're choosing, and that will change you. And the more you do it, the more it becomes ingrained in you. I've seen it with my clients, not just in my own life. When they start making consistent choices, even little small ones, their entire life begins to change. It's not changing everything overnight. It's about recognizing that every choice is a vote for the life that you want. So, what do you want? I started a gratitude practice years ago. And so, what I was doing is I was going to bed and I was consciously thinking of 3 things I was grateful for and 1 thing I was looking forward to. It could be the next day, it could be in a week, it could be in a month, but just something I was looking forward to for great positive activation. And what I realized was it was a simple choice and I did have to make it every night. It wasn't like this simple, oh, I'm going to do it every night and I don't have to think about it. It just comes to me. But what happened was over time, just like creating any habit, and this is also neuroscience, you're creating new neural pathways and you're creating new habits. And so what I did was I would think about it and I would go to bed. Oh, yep, I need to think about these things. After a little while, it was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to think about that. It became part of me. But I will tell you, with changing nothing in my life other than the going to bed and thinking about three things that I'm grateful for. And they can be simple. It can be like a food you had that day, getting outside in nature, a hug that you had, a conversation, anything from simple to profound. And then something you're looking forward to. And it became something that I wasn't like, oh, I want to go to bed just because I can think about these things, because I can think about them anytime, right? But what I would think is I get in bed, it relaxed me, but what it did was it gave me a different mindset. And that's all I changed at that time. And within a month, I loved going to bed, thinking about these things. Fell asleep easier. And let me tell you, I'm one who it would take me 2 to 3 hours to fall asleep sometimes because I was holding all that stress in me and my mind would just flip on repeat. Like, oh, what did you do that was wrong today? What do you have to look forward to? Nothing because you're miserable. That's how I felt. So I fell asleep easier. I slept better and I woke up in a better mood. I tell you, that's the only thing I changed. So here's what I want you to try this week. Take a moment and journal on this prompt, and I'll repeat it. Where in my life am I saying I don't have a choice? And what choice is actually available to me? Where in my life am I saying I don't have a choice? And what choice is actually available to me? So you can look down and say, I can't, blah, blah, blah. And then rewrite it and actually make a choice instead of I can't. Second, I want you to notice one moment this week where you feel powerless. Just one, anything. And in that moment, pause, take a breath, and then choose consciously your response. And here's your affirmation. I always have a choice, and my choices create my reality. Now, I know some people don't like affirmations because they might be saying something that they don't believe. And if you're saying something you don't believe, even though your brain can believe it, because our brain doesn't, it's not having that distinction between what's real and what's not real, we're telling it. But if you're already saying, I can't do it, nope, I don't believe this, it's not going to work if that's your mindset. But if you tell yourself something that you do believe, I always have a choice and my choices create my reality, it's gonna happen. So here's the truth, my friend. Awareness gives us the wisdom, but choice, that gives us power. I want you to remember that this week. You don't have to change your whole life in one day. You don't need to make it all happen overnight. You just need to choose one decision at a time over and over again. To connect with me or learn how to work with me, find me on my website, heathermcnally.com, where you're also going to find my free limiting belief finder, links to my book and my journal I created, and you can sign up for my newsletter. I do offer a free 60-minute consultation to discover how my one-on-one coaching could help you in your life. And I'm also on Instagram at Heather_A_McNally. All of this also can be found in my show notes. I'd greatly appreciate it if you would give the show a follow or subscribe, leave a comment on the episode, and let me know how it connected with you. And if you have a friend that you think would love to hear it, please share. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. Wherever you are right now, I want you to know you are not alone and you always have the power to choose and choose differently. Until next time, I'm Heather McNally. Go live fully, freely, and unapologetically. Your life beyond BS starts now. I'm so grateful you were here today. Remember, your peace, joy, and happiness aren't found in the BS. They're found in your choices. If this episode spoke to you, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe, and share it with a friend. For ways to connect or work with me, check the show notes or visit heathermcnally.com. Until next time, keep choosing you and keep living your life beyond BS.